My name's Gray from Local Pest. We're a pest control company trading on the Costa del Sol.
Tell me, Gray, it's a beautiful day out here, by the way, up in the campo.
Yeah, it's a lovely day.
We're going to talk about bichos, Spanish for bugs and what have you.
All different types.
Now, the first one I'm going to ask you about, and they are the bane of my life, because I have loads on my finger, ants.
Ants, obviously not dangerous, don't carry diseases, but in the summer, drive people absolutely nuts.
How many types do you do we have fire ants here?
Yeah, you do. You have a sugar ant, which feeds on wood. You have a garden ant. You have what they call formicide, which is an ant that actually throws out formic acid, which is horrible. You know, it's just not nice on the skin. It's not quite as dangerous as the fire ant, but it's not nice. It's not pleasant.
And how do you get rid of those? Do you spray them?
Yeah, treatment. Normally, most of them are going to be in the garden area. You will get some indoors. Just a blanket treatment, sort of early part of the year, anytime from April, May, June, before the summer starts, and it's going to make it a lot more comfortable.
Now, something that I don't actually, I've never had a problem. I don't actually mind them. I've worked in the bar trade where we get lots of these. Cockroaches.
Yeah, two types, John, on the Costa del Sol. We've got the American cockroach, which is the big ones, probably about 2 centimetres long, and then increasingly more and more German cockroaches. Now, these are brought in on deliveries mainly. So it's mainly bars that get it, but also anybody who buys large sacks of products, so like onions or big sacks of potatoes, because obviously they can't be treated, they can't be fumigated.
Okay, and our German cockroaches, they don't fly. The American ones fly, don't they?
They don't actually fly. That's a fallacy. What they do is they glide. So they can't actually run along the floor and take off.
Okay.
But what they do is they'll glide. So they'll glide off balconies or trees or whatever.
Okay. Now then, for the pet people out there, I've got ticks and fleas.
Yeah, ticks and fleas. I mean, obviously, when you get to April, nice collar from the vets that covers you for sandfly, which is lethal in a lot of dogs.
That's what gives the dogs leishmaniasis.
Leishmaniasis, yeah. Leash is not nice. So ticks, obviously, they carry a lot of disease as well. So a good quality tick and sandfly collar, which you can get. Excalibur's a good brand from the chemist or from the vets, and that's going to see your dog all the way through the summer.
Now, when my dogs have had ticks in the past, especially when I was living back in the UK all those years ago, I would get a little cap of petrol and put it on the back of the tick on the dog, and it would fall off.
Yeah, the other way.
Probably not the best thing, but
I think I wouldn't advocate petrol probably nowadays, but
it's actually diesel, actually. But anyway,
or even diesel. Get a pair of tweezers, and it's a firm pull, but not a tug.
Okay.
And that will then release its grip. So just a steady, firm pull. If in doubt, and you leave a piece of the tick in, get it straight to the vet.
Take it to the vet. Now, along with fleas, of course, you've got bed bugs.
Bed bugs. We got rid of bed bugs in the 1940s and 50s. They used DDT. You can't use it anymore. So they've come back. What with the advent of cheap travel. So all the cheap airlines, people are travelling everywhere. They carry them in the suitcases, pick them up in hotels. And last year in America, the Empire State Building was actually closed down due to bed bugs. They are the hardest bug to get rid of.
I've seen quite a few videos on bed bugs in the most famous of hotels around the world.
Not nice, John. And obviously, the other thing about bed bugs is that they can cause parasitic anemia, which in young people is really dangerous.
It's very, very dangerous. Now they're going to go wasps and bees. Now wasps, I can't bear wasps.
Yeah.
But I'm led to believe that the wasp here in Spain is the last barrier against malaria in Spain.
Yeah, it's the Pest wasp. In the UK, we have a different type of wasp, which is a sugar feeder, Vespula vulgaris. Here we have the Pest wasp. It's a protein feeder, which is why your barbecues are always knocking around. But obviously we control them because they're not great, but we don't want to completely eradicate those because they are the last barrier to the malaria, the mosquito that carries malaria.
Now, is that the wasp with the very long back legs?
That's the one, and then you've got the other one that really dangles, that flies in sort of angular fashion around the room. That's a sand wasp, and they build normally like a mud nest behind curtains and stuff like that.
Those are the ones I got.
The sting on them's horrible. It's a horrible sting on the mud wasp.
And again, you spray those?
Yeah, we treat those. Normally, it's about blanket spraying the roof, but also we supply a product that you can put in the pool.
Right.
So when the wasp lands in the pool, it breaks the surface tension in the pool. It's not a chemical. It's a natural product. Breaks the surface tension, So then they sink to the bottom and they're carried away with the skimmer. So
down it goes.
The pool becomes a natural pest control vehicle, really.
Okay. Now, bees we like.
Bees we absolutely love. We're never going to kill them. We'll move them on wherever possible. And we advise people, if they're not doing any harm, then just to leave them be.
And how do you move bees? You just take the queen?
Yeah, go in, take the queen, and we have a machine with like a vacuum cleaner on it, sucking the remainder or the majority of the rest of the bees off, and then we take them either to the campo, or if a beekeeper wants them, we'll let them have them. But sometimes because they're feral, they don't want them because obviously they carry a tick.
I see. And another something else that we have up in the campo a lot, because of all the horses and everything else, is flies.
Yeah, flies. Flies are the bane of everybody on the Costa del Sol, really. Certain times of the year, so when the wet season's finished, you start getting them, and then we sort of get through summer, and it starts being a problem. We supply a new product. It's a bag. It's amazing. It catches thousands of them. So give us a call, and we'll obviously get those to you.
I've seen the bag. It looks amazing. And this year maybe I won't have to make my fly traps out of old water bottles.
You're getting one this year or two.
Snakes, I hate. I've had a phobia with snakes for all my life. Don't really see them here, or I haven't seen them here, but I know they are a problem sometimes.
Yeah, we get two types. Obviously, we get the ones that are no harm really, unless you're kind of allergic. They're just sort of grass snakes. But we have one viper. I think the Spanish call it calubra.
You have the Montpellier snake.
It's the Montpellier.
It's the longest snake, yeah. And it is venomous.
On the Costa del Sol, primarily here, they're not good. They're not going to kill you, unless you are severely allergic. But obviously, if you get bit by one,
you do see them around water. And when I have seen them, I've seen them in ponds and lakes swimming around.
They're no fun.
Now then, another one, of course, which rats and mice. Mice I don't mind, to be honest with you, but rats obviously carry disease.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about mice is, they're everybody's friend. Everybody likes them. Everybody thinks of Mickey Mouse. The thing is, John, house fires. They gnaw cables, as well as rats do as well. So, unfortunately, as cute and as nice as they tend to be, they've got to go. There's no place in people's houses for them.
And we trap those, or do we poison them? Because I know that back in the day we'd use warfarin, but then if any of my dogs had picked up a rat that had died of warfarin poisoning and ate it, it would find itself in serious trouble.
Yeah, what we use is we either use the trapping method, or we use a second generation anticoagulant in tamper-proof bait stations. It contains a bittering agent, so your dogs, unless it has no taste buds, would not eat that dead animal. So done very safely and methodically.
That's perfect. Storage moths?
Storage moths, they're the moths that if you leave rice or pasta or bread or anything kind of that's got grain in it.
The little small fellas.
Little small fellas, and all of a sudden you see the little like caterpillar that's crawling on the ceiling, and everybody tries to get the stuff from Mercadona and whatever. It needs professional treatment.
This is my excuse for not having baked a cake for many years, because every time I go to the flower,
that's it. It's
full of them.
Well, I've got a tip, John. Write down the date that you buy it, and if it's as soon as it's opened after 3 months, bin it. It's as simple as that.
Or bake a lot.
Or bake a cake.
Now we haven't all got gardens, of course, but up here in the campo in southern Spain we do, and we have garden pests.
Yeah, we had one that nearly eradicated a lot of the chumba last year. Cochinilla, which is what they use to make food colouring.
Yeah.
But if you look round the campo and stuff, you'll see like chumba, which is like the cactus all bent over. So there's that pest.
It's like a little ant, isn't it?
Yeah. And one that bothers you. What's the one that bothers you particularly? One on flowers. Is that
there
one
as well? When the Spanish started importing geraniums from Holland, they also imported a little brown moth, which lays its eggs in the stems of geraniums. And you can't really grow geraniums properly here without finding lots of little black eggs, and everything above the eggs falls over. So your plants, they kill the plants.
Yeah, we can solve that. We have a machine called a fogger. Literally go around the garden, treat all the plants. It's not going to have any harm on the plants. It works symbiotically with it.
Right.
So all good, no problem there.
And of course, one of the biggest problems for big gardeners here, or people who have large tracts of land, especially in Mallorca and Menorca, of course, is the palm weevil.
Yeah, the pijarroco. It's the Washingtonia palm, which is the nice big open palm. Just absolutely destroyed them up and down the Costa del Sol and further on. Those trees were imported primarily from Egypt with the actual bug inside. They're not indigenous to Spain. I think Ibiza or Minorca, I'm not sure which, is now eradicated the Pico Rocco. We're making inroads into it. The problem is that a lot of people are doing the wrong kind of treatment. This treatment for these trees needs treating every 40 days. Every 40 days for the minimum of the first 2 years of an infestation. Then you can be sure you've got rid of it. But the authorities are working on it. The pest control companies are working on it. It's a horrible bug. If you have one on your hand, it will try to bore into your finger. And you can actually hear them in the stem of the tree. They're horrible things.
Now, something else we've covered in other videos, but I'm just going to quickly run over them. Of course, we've done termites.
We've done termites, subterranean termites. We've done all those.
Which will ruin your woodwork, as it were.
They'll destroy the woodwork, but they'll also travel inside plasterwork and brickwork as well.
Oh, will they go into plaster as well, will they?
Yeah, they will.
Okay, and of course the final one, which this time of year is a great trouble to pet, to dog owners at least, is the processionary caterpillar.
Processionary caterpillar, John. I saw on Facebook a posting only yesterday from a vet where the lesions on the tongue of the dog had destroyed this dog's tongue.
I saw that.
And we'll try and get a photo on there if we can of that. These things are lethal. As we said before in the other video, they are the most dangerous pest on the Costa del Sol for animals, small children, and anybody who's ill, really.
I'm just going to go back to one that I wanted to ask you. When somebody says, I've got a snake in my garden, do you come and pick it up?
Yeah, basically we come along with a set of grabs. It's a bit Heath Robinson with a sack.
In the sack.
Sometimes you can't find it. So what we do is we use a product called Snake Away.
Okay.
And basically it's a deterrent to stop them from coming in the garden. It's a perimeter deterrent.
So if anybody watching this video has got any one of these beachers, nasties, we can call your local pest.
Yep, 952-449-591 for the landline, or 684-217-181. There's one just there flying around. We'd also do WhatsApp diagnosis, and it's straightforward. It's as simple as that.
So anybody out there, if you do have a problem, you can send a photograph or a video via WhatsApp, and Gray and the boys at Local Pest will assess your problem
and address it.
And address it. Gray, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.